Hi everyone, welcome to Random Access Megan. I am Megan. Today what I'm going to go over is the Bon Appetit Chicago Gourmet. We just went last weekend. We went on Saturday from 12 to 6, from open to close, and we had so much fun. I've been before. I didn't know what I was getting into, and my heart was won over to try to go again and take my husband with me so that he can experience it. It's kind of hard to describe this event, so I'm going to do my best. I hope I win you all over as far as going. If you are in Chicago or if you're making your way into Chicago, it's a really, really cool event, especially to experience the alcohol and the restaurants that you have available to you in the Chicago metro area. So that being said, I want to go over the basics and then from there go into a little bit more detail of the experience and what to expect at the event. Like I had said, I just went last weekend, so it was September 23rd and 24th of 2017. The dates are already set for 2018, September 28th through the 30th. I'm super excited about that, already marked my calendar. The location is Millennium Park. Typically where they have it is the lawn of the amphitheater or the theater, whatever they call it. So it's all on the green grass and not a lot of walking, which is kind of nice. Maybe walking back and forth, but it's not like a long ground or surface area that you have to cover, which is a breath of fresh air, especially since all the other festivals, music festivals we go to, there is a ton of walking. Ticket prices, they typically go on sale in April. First off, they'll have a pre-sale opportunity to get the tickets at a discounted rate. I believe last year they were selling them for $160 to $170, but the pre-sale sold out within about 2 minutes. So I ended up buying them full price. After taxes and fees, I spent $215 per ticket, which is super expensive, but here's my logic behind that. You are paying to enter an area where you are eating and drinking for 6 hours straight. You will never have to take out your wallet when you enter the festival, unless you're giving away some business cards. But it is legit eating and drinking for 6 hours straight. The world is your oyster. You can go back to vendors multiple times or restaurants multiple times so that you can have what you're looking for and what you like. Or if you're like us, we try everything. So to break down the actual event and what to expect, there are tastings, of course. So there's food pavilions for you to visit, and they have restaurants set up serving appetizer size or bite size options for you to test out. There's also live demos, so live cooking demos, seminars, book signings, and tasting tours, which are more on the alcohol side, but you end up spending your whole time there. We did not go to any cooking demos. It was very hot, so I think we just kept on. The reason why we kept walking around or trying to find shade, it was pushing about 90, so we just wanted to keep it moving all day long. Here's another reason why. There are 13 tasting pavilions. Each pavilion has a theme or it's sponsored. Themes can consist of barbecue, Thai, Mexican, or seafood, Italian. And the sponsored ones have like a group of restaurants that sit there as well. But either way, each pavilion has about 3 to 5 restaurants from a certain time span that are serving bite-sized foods. So most of them had 5, but there are some that had 3. If you do the quick math, from 12 to 3, you have 49 tasting options if you're only multiplying that by 3. And then from 3 to 6, they switch out the restaurants and give you another whole selection for another 3 hours. It is nuts, and it's so awesome at the same time. And I haven't even touched the alcohol part. So you have the ability to visit all of these restaurants and test out all of their food or have small tastings, and you can repeat and go back again. Now, as far as the alcohol goes, there are alcohol booths spread out or in between these tasting pavilions, as well as most of them being saturated in the middle of the lawn. So a lot of the tasting pavilions were on the outside for the food, and then on the inside was mostly alcohol. So the alcohol, they have whiskey, vodka, gin, champagne, and wine. A lot of the, or actually all of the hard liquors either served you a shot size, or they had options laid out for a cocktail to test out their alcohol. You can either fill the sample wine glass that they give you when you enter, or they'll give you a small cocktail glass that the vendor is passing out. That's just hard alcohol. I'm kind of exhausted thinking about this. On top of that, there are wine options. So if you like a brand, let's just say Millennium, which is a champagne brand or a sparkling wine brand, and there's multiple lines, like a rosé, a brut, a dry, extra dry, whatever the case may be, they have all of those options lined up, and you can test every single one of them at that specific brand. So you end up spending a lot of time at your favorite places. You can also spend a lot of time of new favorite places and learning a little bit more about the alcohol. So it definitely is worth the $215. So some of my favorites to wrap this up. The food, I think, is tied between the Ralph Lauren or the RL restaurant. They served a little mini lobster roll with a mini like Dixie cup of fries. The presentation was so cute, and then on top of that, the lobster roll was chunks of lobster, which is my absolute favorite. I hate it when they have shredded lobster because it's just not the same, or if it's all bread. I mean, it's totally pointless. So they went all out, and then Maetros, they had a medium rare slice of filet mignon on top of mashed potatoes. Oh, so good, just thinking about it. I went probably 2 or 3 times. My husband probably went about 6 times, and then we're in a group of 10, so I'm sure we definitely loaded up on the samplings there at Maetros. Now, for the alcohol, my tops were Absolut Elyx, which is surprising because Absolut is not my #1 choice of vodka, but the Elyx is their premium brand, and it was actually really delicious, and it was even better with the cocktail that they had set out to make. On top of that, their booth was so cool. It was all copper kitchenware, barware, and they handed out the cutest stirs. It's like a copper stir stick with a pineapple on top. So I was sold there. Of course, some wine brands that I fell in love with. Chloe has always been a favorite of mine, so it was great to visit that booth and try out all of their wines, their whole selection. And Mezza was a new one. I really liked their still rosé. I'm not a huge still rosé fan, and so it was really nice and refreshing to find one there during the festival. When you enter the festival, you do get a swag bag. Each and every attendee does, filled with random things. So that was pretty cool. You get some coupons, promo codes, a wine glass, a souvenir wine glass to use for all of your tastings, as well as a plastic plate to hook onto your wine glass to carry all the food. And on top of that, you can take some souvenirs away from the vendors, whatever they're handing out. So we got some cool mini glasses. We got some stirs. It was a really, really, really fun event, and I cannot wait to go back. I know that ticket price is a shock, but whenever you, or if you do go in 2018, you'll understand why. you're eating and drinking for 6 hours straight in the sun with your friends or running into friends, because it is a huge crowd and it's just a fun place. And it's such a fun place or event to wrap up the summer. That being said, if you enjoyed my review, please like it, share it, and of course, subscribe to Random Access Megan. Until next time, bye everyone.